Revisions. I've lately felt like I am always in the middle of either drafting new words or revising something. How about you? Is that you, this writing challenge? If so, let's go ahead and have a chat about it. Welcome on back, everybody, to the Writing Glimmers edition for November's Writing Challenges in 2025. We are hanging out and talking about scene surgery, aka revisions. My name is Jenna O'Malley. I am your soul writer, author of sci-fi fantasy with dashes of romance and nerdy references. Alongside the raw healing stories my characters in the Myrna Annals do weave throughout time and space, I help other soul bards as an editor and coach. Do feel welcome to reach out. We are getting ready to wind down what has been a year full of pop quiz review lessons learned, shall we say, and that included my writing process. So how did I end up revising 25,000 words in 3 days? Let's go ahead and look at some of these tips. Number 1, revising means to take another look at the vision you originally had, which can also include re-envisioning it to be something that it originally indeed was not. This was very much me about 1.5 years, 2 years ago for the rebrand relaunch revolution that I did with the Myrna Annals, and I have learned so much. Mind you, even though these are the first books I've published under this pen name, there are other books that I have never published that are shelved for reasons because I had to learn lessons from them. So what am I exactly doing to go ahead and allow the revision process to literally be a re-envisioning of what I'm writing? Sometimes I have to accept that my original plan is not what the characters had in mind, and that too is okay. Sometimes it means that there's a plot hole that I skipped over last time through the powers of drafting. Maybe I have to go ahead and look, Arena, you would be clawing things right now. Maybe I have to go ahead and dig through a bunch of messes and kind of scene surgery things together. To me, scene surgery is where you're like, okay, take this thing over here, that thing over there, maybe a little bit of a touch of that thing there, and make them transition together smoothly as if you had written that way in the first place. Therefore, revisions, as my shirt says, are fabulously beautiful and messy. Whoo! My messy drafts come out in my revisions more than my zero drafts sometimes. And that is totally okay because, number 2, that scene surgery makes you look at the higher order concerns that are in front of you first. There is 0 point going through and looking at grammar, at syntax, at diction, if you're going to be moving stuff around. So definitely check out your higher order versus your lower order concerns to save yourself a little bit of time. And it's really truly where a lot of people think that editors are greatest is when they're doing all the grammar stuff. This is why I love living in developmental editor land more than final polish land. I mean, I did that part of my career already with the grammar and the stuff and doing final copy line edits and proofreads and polishes, but I love being in the muddy middle type feels of the developmental editor land because I feel like a detective hunting down problems, trying to see them and fix them along the way. So therefore, let's go ahead and look at our next tip. So what are some techniques you can use to do that deep dive? Well, I, as a former teacher of readers who would do literary analysis and former teacher of readers who don't like reading so much, close reading techniques. Literally, sometimes the best thing I can do is print out my book and get a pen and a highlighter and sit down and annotate the bejesus out of it, as if I am the reader. Now, those of you who don't like those kind of things in different classes, or if you yourself struggle with that skill, maybe ask someone to do that for you, or do this as a field of practice on your own. If not on your own book, then as a case study of another book. So that way you can see where really truly the comprehension end matters just as much as the creative end of creating the world that you want your characters to represent for the sake of your readers to enjoy them. And therefore, The second time you go through, after you've done that kind of close, deep dive reading, go ahead and pay close attention to the biggest gaps first. Go back and maybe fix areas that you have color coded in, like a green means do these first, yellow means do these when you have time, and red is get to them when you get to them. Or reverse if that kind of stoplight works in your brain, either way accordingly. This is also a great time where if you have any sort of critique partnering, beta reading, alpha reading, whatever, however, whenever you use those in and around your choices to use and not to use an editor, what you want to go ahead and do is really look for the areas that have the most concern. Now, your areas of weakness and concern might be just fine, which means you might have blind spots. So the goal here is to try and find as many blind spots that you as the writer may not yet be seeing. And this is why I say things in live streams such as, when in doubt, ask your secondary characters. They usually are the best friends and the worst enemies in the room. And therefore, they're sometimes, for people's better and worse, just like in real life, hashtag relatable, they give what the elephant in the room that everyone else is missing truly tends to be. Next tip. So pay close attention to how people talk about theme and universal truths, not just within your own culture, but outside of. This is something that in my lifetime I have seen, just not as a writer, but as a teacher of readers and writers. I have seen cultural norms get tested, compared against each other. And they're more similar than we think. There's a reason why Disney made bank on a certain little movie called Encanto, and all of us were like, ha 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 ha. Abuela is my mom or grandmom. So let's go ahead then and look at our last tip. Where are you most conditioned, therefore, to see things only in a certain light with those themes, or to only let the reality of emotions out in a certain way? Yes, my books tend to be very fast-paced. At the same time, I like to have moments of pause to let people freak out. I am that anxiety-ridden person. We do exist, whether you like to acknowledge that we actually can be mid-panic attack and still do the thing, or not. Why are some of us like that? Because other people gave us no other choice but to be. So why not have characters who mirror that too? I've seen a lot of flack in various online platforms about readers kind of attacking writers in a "you owe us." Nobody owes anything to anybody other than common decency and dignity. And if you can't do that, you ain't a good person, in my opinion. So put it in your books. Why? Because there's likely a reader out there who had a similar inspiration, aesthetic, life experience, whatever, to be able to go, I know where this is going. Let's see how it turns out in the long run. So when you're revising, it's supposed to get muddy. It's supposed to be a beautiful, fabulous, gorgeous mess. And you know what? I forgot how fun it was to make mud pies and play in the sandbox outside as a little kid. And some of us never learned. Time to get in touch with your inner child and learn to enjoy the muddiest, messiest parts of what makes your masterpiece shine. Take care of yourself. You've always been worth it. Now more than ever, go ahead and leave a heart of some kind in the description box, or in the comment box below. And then in the description box below, there's links and things for you. I'll get it right. Anyway, see you later. Take care. See you in a live stream soon.